We're going advanced today. Are you ready for it? It's super early here in Atlanta, and I wanted to share something with you that's very powerful. And this is going to blow your mind if you are attached to law of attraction, because I'm going to help you to see it differently if you're open to that. We're going to talk quantum physics, law of attraction, but I'm going to flip everything around, and maybe this will be the epiphany that you need to get to that amazing manifestation, that new reality that I know that you desire. So get ready. Let's go advanced. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. Yee-hoo! It's super early here in Atlanta. I'm having my coffee. Okay, let me have a sip so I can get going. Advanced manifesting. What am I going to talk about today? You know, I'm going to give you the tools. Oh my gosh, go to landriaonkka.com. I have tons there. Go to landriaonkka.net. I have all kinds of business and training and stuff there. You just have to use these tools. Find what works for you, and I'm going to talk today about advanced. Everything that we do that doesn't work comes from this one way of thinking. We are giving power to what is out here. Now, I'm not talking about the quantum field. I'm talking about the physical field. I want you to think about something. You are the power of the universe, unlimited energy. Fact. Everything's one thing. Everything's entangled. Everything's entangled. With your focus, you become super entangled. I call it super entangled with it. In other words, you're interacting with it directly in your own reality. All right? So if I look at something, it is now a part of my reality. It's my focus. All right? Same thing with a job, how you think about prosperity, other people, everything. Your whole perspective on life is your reality. But here's what's happening, and we're still doing this. We are looking at the material world and allowing it to control us. Then we go with these negative feelings about what that is. And we go in here and we say, I know everything's coming from here, but we're using what we're seeing out here. In here, stressing out, worrying all this stuff, and blasting it back out again. All right? You're the power of the universe. You came into a dense body. So the brain, the heart, the spinal cord, all the, the nervous system, everything is all part of what you've had to come into to use in this experience. That's a tough one because that's not really our pure state of being, right? We're pure light. We're of the highest form. We came into this, and this absolutely has a big bearing on everything we feel, do, think, all of it. Why? It's dense. It fires off all these thoughts, and it learns things, and it's dealing with the material world. But you can go above that and tap into your power. But here's what happens. We come into the dense body, we start to get so used to being a material thing, a person, right? We're so used to that. We see things, and our perception is this is what we are. When we create things out here, we don't realize we're actually doing all of it, right? We don't connect to that power of which we are. When we create all this out here, then we see this material stuff, and we believe this also. It then triggers all this in here with the brain and the nervous system and the thoughts and the programming. If you know Joe Dispenza, he's really great at reprogramming your brain. This is what we're having to deal with as human beings. Everything is the opposite of what we've been doing in order to create something magnificent. The toughest thing for you is to realize that that law of attraction isn't something that you're creating to bring in here. It's this going out here. Going out here. And I don't mean the material world. It's you creating that. So we're always thinking law of attraction. Everything's the opposite of what you normally think, right? Because we usually place it in a material, let's just say, description. I'm going to define this in a material format. In other words, law of attraction, if I think a certain thing, this material thing comes to me, and it's not that at all. And that's why law of attraction, of course it's a real term. Of course, it's really quantum physics. But when we say law of attraction, we're still thinking there's something material out there that has to come to us. Now, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, but what we're going to do today is I want you to realize everything is just in here. Everything's in here, creating out here, in the unseen. When you see the material world and you believe it, you're now being controlled by it. And when you're controlled by it, the thoughts continue to create that. So if you have money problems or relationship problems or all that stuff, you keep seeing this out here, believing it, going into the dense body, firing all this stuff off, and then creating these feelings and pushing it back out here, and it keeps showing up. It keeps showing up. Right? Law of attraction. I'm going to think about this and bring this in here. You're separating yourself from the material world is all you think there is. You're separating yourself from your power. So the toughest thing we have to do in order to control this and tap into what we are is to step back and get totally in touch with who and what we are. So number one, sit, do it right now. Feel your body, and I'll bet you may be tensed up, right? Just relax your whole body. Just relax your whole body. We're going to start with that. And then realize the power of the universe is flowing through everything. You have equal access to everything that I do, or billionaires, or the homeless person on the street. We all have equal access. We're just choosing different experiences not to be judged, okay? What somebody gets by being homeless could be like unbelievably valuable in the spiritual world, their evolvement. Okay, they get to choose that, and they have access to amazing things. And we, being entangled, can facilitate some positive things there, right? And they're allowing us to do that. Half the time it's more for us than it is for them. Everything out here is being created and generated by you. Now, we are a collective. Now, if you guys know about my Miracle Circle, you can come join. Somebody said, everything should be free. I said, well, that's really cool, but yeah, my YouTube channel is free, my email lists are free. What I'm doing with you, it's a monthly membership, but here's what we're doing. You're actually going into training. Every week, I have you going into my e-course platform online, and I start to work with you on this, because miracles is when we blow out what we're thinking, what we're seeing, and we envision perfection. And that is not unrealistic, because that's exactly what exists right now. We're so controlled by this outside world. Everything out here has been controlling us when we're the ones generating it. And then we go in here to change that. I'm going to go in here to change that. Blow it out. Forget that. Forget that. That's your old thinking. That was the thinking and the control, the material world, everything that you've thought has generated those things. Learn from it. It's valuable. This is not something that shouldn't be. When we flip around, we flip everything around. I have Manifest in 3 seconds. You have my free mobile app, switching those thoughts, right? But until you absolutely claim that you are that power, out here creating it and in here projecting it. Now, so here's the deal. The power of you runs through everything. This is an individual experience. So you get to individually use that power to create an experience of Bob or Sally or Landria. That's the fun part. Otherwise, it'd be boring. We'd be bored out of our brains. We'd all be flying around with harps and, wings, going, okay, this is it. This is great, but come on, let's shake it up a little bit. And that's what we're doing. So I get to experience different things than you. Somebody's got really, I don't know why people get so upset about things, said that, the best spiritual teachers are the ones that have gone through crisis. Trust me, all of us have. But we all have our own individual journey, and we don't know what each of us has experienced prior to this presence here. And I'm going to tell you something. We've all done pretty much everything at this point. We've all been the kings and the queens and the paupers. All of that's been created by you. When this stops controlling you, and this is what we do, this upsets us. We come in here and we believe this is real. It's, you know, it's something that has power over us. We don't believe that that's a projection of our thoughts. That's a projection of our thoughts. There's no law to attract anything. The law is, the attraction is, you're just shifting into that which is going on in here. So what we're trying to do is, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change this. No, 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 no. Change this. Change this. Disregard everything that's going on out here other than it is my sign of what I'm thinking. It's my sign of what I need. A lot of times you need certain experiences in order to be different, progress, you know, rise above things. Okay, that doesn't work, or I came from that. I can rise above, I can forgive, I can love myself. So use all of this. All of this is a school out here. I'm looking at school. All right, school is, okay, all right, I've had enough of being broke or whatever it is. Okay, all right, cool, cool. I created all this. Let's look at it just like, you know, it's on a TV screen. What's going on in here? This is my projection. I'm a projection. So you stop looking at all this, because you're going to, if you do and you don't like it, you will go in here and battle the material world. It is controlling you still, right? We're going to flip that around. All right, I am now going to create something completely different in this. If you take, by now it may be over with, my prosperity, 30-day prosperity challenge. What is that? I spent 3 hours with you going over the principles of Think and Grow Rich. I just used some of them because we've actually progressed from some of that stuff. But the principles are the same. And we start to work on how do you change all of this in here. The toughest thing that we have to overcome is to stop allowing what's going on out here that we don't like to control what's going on in here. Because until you can separate yourself from that, see it for what it is, then you can go in here and start creating something new instead of letting it perpetuate itself. Does this make sense? So what I'm trying to do here today is, when you realize I'm thinking, I'm projecting out here, I'm thinking, I'm projecting, law of attraction, no, wipe it all out. Right now, I'm creating my reality, my focus, my thoughts, my feelings, and you got to get really in touch with those, because a lot of times we don't believe, we don't want to believe what we're really feeling. Think, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, you know, I do believe in ghosts, I do believe, I do, right? If you don't, you don't. So this is the training that has to happen. This is why I work with you guys and have 101 webinars and courses and stuff, because I want to help you find that thing's going to work for you that we put in place every day. It's going to take retraining to get detached, emotionally detached from this, and say that is just the entanglement of what I've been doing up until this point. Let's go in here. Not letting it control, not letting it control. And the more you separate yourself from those feelings or believing what you're seeing, the more you're creating something new. It starts to project out here. Why? Because all of this out here, everything is you. But we're seeing it as a material, real world thing, right? Material world. We're believing it. It's a projection. It can be changed at any point. Any point. It's all coming here. It's all here. You aren't the nerves, you aren't the heart, you aren't the brain. It's a part of you. It's the energy that infiltrates this density, and it controls us a lot of the time, because this is just part of humanity, right? We're convinced that that's who we are. So you're dealing with all these things that sort of tether you down to this human reality. It tethers you a little bit because you're feeling and thinking stuff, all of it. You're dealing with density here. It's very difficult. And this is where the discipline comes in, is to sit with it and not let it control you. So when you sit with it in meditation, this is tough. We don't want to feel bad things. Fine. Sit with it. Don't fight it. Wow. You seen my little puppet, Hacker T? The ego. He plays the ego in my videos. Think of it as a separate entity that is dense. That's just a part of the tools that we use while we're here. This body's just a tool we use. It's not who we are. And that's what we have to detach from in order to realize that all of this is us. We're creating everything. That material world is not what we are or permanent or how our lives really are. It's just a projection of what we've been thinking and also what we have to learn. Don't forget that part. I don't want this. I don't want this. What am I learning? What have I been thinking? This is it. How do I change it? There's a thought that's creating this. There's a belief that's creating this. So that has to be changed right in here to create whatever is out here. That material world is controlling us. We're allowing that when we're the projection of it. And by the way, your projection is going to be different than mine. That's the cool part. You and I could be in the same room and have completely different realities and still know that we're there. We're going to go more into that this year. This year, we're going to use the collective in a most powerful way. So the Miracle Circle membership, we're going to use the power of people, the masses. So the more people that go in there, the more we're going to focus on your requests, healing, planetary, raising the frequency of the planet and other things. We're breaking through the material world. We're seeing it for what it is. It's an experience. It's a projection. We can change the projection. We've learned we don't have to keep suffering anymore. You don't have to attract anything in here. That out there is nothing to attract. You're everything. You are it already. You're just choosing. That's all. That's all. Whatever vibration frequency you resonate with, that's your reality. Boom. Does this make sense? This might be a little bit like, okay, I get it. Well, we sort of know. No, we have to stop seeing this material world as something that controls us. We're controlling it. All right? Nothing out there to bring in, nothing to do. We're creating. Focus. Projection. I am that energy. So when I get to control my thoughts as a human being, which I've been given free will to do, I get to change it and contribute to that big collective. That's very important because you affect me and vice versa. All right, so go to landriaonkka.com. Go in the description for all kinds of cool stuff down there. Free downloads, all kinds of cool stuff. Classes, webinars, master classes, things coming up. landriaonkka.net. That free workshop is business related. It has to do with learning new skills to create online businesses. I don't know about you guys, but I don't go to an office. This is my office. Right? That's a nice way to control how you work and live, and I get to contact the entire globe from here. So let's start using technology for good things. There's so much you can do. Are you ready to do that? All right, please subscribe. You know, if you ring the bell, it'll notify you when I go live or when I post new videos in certain playlists. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Are you ready? We're doing it. We're doing it. Just get out of your head, right? Get out of your head. That is not you. You're everything. You're controlling all of it. I really mean this. When you come to terms with this, there's nothing you can't change. Nothing. Sending you blessings, light, love, health, wealth, abundance, most of all awakening. Namaste.